Every time I talk about confidence on this podcast, I know that it's a huge responsibility because that's literally on the name of the podcast. And I know as creatives, we love reading inspirational quotes and things that sound amazing, incredible ideas, but sometimes we try to translate them into feeling more confident in our day to day, but it just doesn't work out. That's why I dug deep in my brain to bring you a framework that has the potential of truly transforming your confidence during hard times, when sales are low, when you want to burn everything to the ground. This episode is for you. I'm excited. I'm really proud of it. And I know it can get you out of a funk. Do you want to be seen as the go-to in your industry, get more sales, easily attract new opportunities, but feel overlooked online? If so, you are in the right place. Hey, I'm Eugenia, but you can call me E. I'm a marketing strategist, a wife, and a new mom. I learned the secret of how to be seen as an authority and have people think of you for new opportunities and more clients. If you're ready to get clear on what makes your personal brand unique, build a magnetic presence online, and get more eyes on your business, this is your next move. Okay, this episode particularly, we're talking about confidence. And you need the confidence to be seen as a go-to in your industry. When you want to achieve those big dreams of more visibility, more sales, more leadership opportunities, you need to be able to be confident to own your stage. And it's not because you're shallow, not because you're vain, but because you really want to step into that next season of your business. This is the next season of collaboration, of impact, of money, because money unlocks so many things for us. If you are in that place, if you know that you are ready for more opportunities and you just don't really know where to start or really what it is that you're doing that is not working, and sure, you could take another course that's going to give you a gazillion steps. You are probably more than likely, according to statistics, you're not going to finish that course. So no course needed. You don't need generic advice. You need something custom to you. You need things that work for you. And we're almost in 2026. We live in a world of Ubers and Instacarts. We need efficiency and we don't get to sacrifice excellence. No around here. Not on my watch, sir. So if you are ready to move beyond guesswork and actually have a clear path forward to grow your brand, get more leads, get more sales, get more visible, it's time to book a brand positioning audit because we're going to uncover the three biggest gaps in your online presence. There are four main gaps. We're going to talk about the four, but there's usually three main things that are blocking your online presence from translating into giving you that positioning in the market that you want. And you're going to leave with a clear plan to attract not only client, but again, visibility, those leadership opportunities. Book your audit today at eugeniawood.com/brand. That's EUGENIA.com/brand. BRAND. When I started this podcast, I had the same goal that I have today, of helping you stand on the stage of your brand. I fully believe that your brand is your platform, is your stage to communicate your message about what you do, what you sell, about the transformation that you do for people. Ultimately, you do change people's lives. I don't care if you sell copywriting services. I don't care if you are a coach. I don't care if you're a consultant. You have the potential of getting people closer to where they want to be and of leading people. And that's so incredible. But there's a thing that holds us back, especially when sales are low. And if your sales are low, please book a brand positioning audit. I cannot stress that enough because we can accelerate the momentum. But you also need to work on your confidence. And I know that in those moments of frustration, we start feeling a little shaky. We start doubting the things we're doing. We want to reinvent the wheel. And I want this episode to be this lighthouse, this thing that you come back to, not because of the episode itself, but because you have the tools to be grounded, to look at where you're going and what your vision is. And I have this analogy of what true confidence means, because confidence is not just standing in a power pose and shouting louder or not being afraid. Like, that's not confidence, and we can talk about it another time. Confidence is really being grounded. It is not shaking and not even having to question or overcompensate for lack of belief. And I love the analogy of your name, because if someone, like, you know your name, you know what your name is. If someone forgets your name or calls you the wrong name, you you don't go into a spiral. You don't go into like ChatGPT trying to figure out a new name, thinking, should I change my name? What's wrong with my name? I'm going to rebrand my name. No, you just you don't think about it. Like, they forgot about your name. There are many reasons that could be happening. You are not going to change your name because of that. You don't need to be reassured by your name because you're confident in it. You know what it is. And that is where I want to get you with your personal brand, even in times where sales are low. When we are confident, we are not in a stage of euphoria. Euphoria is so connected to anxiety. And I'm not a therapist. I want to bring a psychologist to really like unpack this for you. But when we are in this stage of euphoria and making everything a big deal and just like erratic behavior, that is attached to anxiety and fear in the basic level. When we are calm, peaceful, and of course excited and joyful and expectant, but from a place of steadiness, that is confidence. That is the groundness that I'm talking about today. And that's the goal of this episode, to get you grounded in moments of frustration, in moments of disappointment. And it all starts first and foremost with an anchor. You need, as I said, a lighthouse. You need a reminder that while your problems matter, we are part of a bigger story. Sometimes we're so focused on our problems that we lose perspective of the bigger story that we are part of. And as you know, my anchor is God. I am a Christian. I love His word. I think there are promises and encouragement and redirection for every situation in life. So I want to share some of that encouragement with you from the Bible, because it is true, it is immovable. Regardless of what you believe, I want to give you this because that's my source of anchoring myself and my belief. And I know that when you meditate on these words, it can become yours as well. First, we have Hebrews 13:5. It says, keep your life free from love of money and be content with what you have, for He has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. When we are in this state of, I'm going to lose the sale, I am not getting the sale, money's not coming. When we are having so much anxiety and fear around money, we are making of money an idol. We are making it the foundation of our life. I'm not saying that money is not important and you should not worry about it and be strategic and steward your finances correctly. What I am saying though is keep your life free from the love of money, from this worry about money, from making money the source of your confidence, your identity, that from all the things that keep you going and running. Why? And it's not what I say, it's what Hebrews says. And why? Because the God of the universe loves you and will never leave you. The Bible says that God so loved the world that He sent His only Son. He loves the world. He loves everyone, regardless of our belief. He loves us first. And I think that is so powerful when you know that God loves you and will never leave you, will never forsake you. You don't need to be anxious about money or let money define your identity, let money define your calling. You can break free from anxiety, stand in that anchor of the love of God for you. That is number one. Another Bible verse that I love, and it's my anchor in times of anxiety and fear when it comes to sales, is Romans 8:28. It says, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. I, again, love this one. It is reminding us of the love of God. All things work for good for those who love God. for me, whenever I am worried, anxious, sales are not in the best shape that they could be, especially when I was in seasons of very low sales, I was reminded of that. All things work for my good according to God's purpose. So even right now, even moments of slow sales, moments of challenge, that is happening according to God's purpose. So instead of worrying, do I have to change everything? What does it say about me? Is there a problem with me? Maybe ask the question, God, what are you teaching me with this? What are you showing me? Make it very clear. The Bible also says, if any of you lacks wisdom, ask to God who gives abundantly to anyone who asks. So if you ask God for wisdom, he'll give it to you. Because the Bible promises everything works out for the good of those who love God. So that's such a powerful verse, such a good encouragement that even this season is working out for your good. And then another verse that I love for my anchor is Psalm 34:18. It says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirits." And that means that the Lord is close to you. I think that it's also important to validate what we are, what we're feeling, what we're struggling. If we're sad, if we're disappointed, those feelings are true. Those feelings are valid. That doesn't mean that you have to change your whole business and forget about the things that God has called you to. But that means that you are going through a hardship. And God is not just telling you, oh, forget about it, and being like toxic positivity all over your problems and all over your fears. God is telling you that He's close to you, that He saves you. He saves those who are crushed in spirit. And of course, that verse probably has larger meaning theologically in terms of salvation, and we can talk about it another time. But for purposes of this topic of confidence, when sales are low, feeling sad because your sales are not going the way you hoped is normal. It is okay. And there is hope in God. He is going to make all things right for you. He's going to give you wisdom. He will never leave you. All of these things for encouragement is amazing. But also remember that God is with you in this moment. So sit with your sadness if you have to. Don't dwell in it forever. Don't make sadness your place of residence. I know feeling sad can be comfortable because then we don't have, or we have an excuse to change and stop and just like release pressure by quitting. But if you're feeling sad, in that moment, just be okay with knowing that God is close to you if you're brokenhearted. I think it's so beautiful. So those are three verses that are really anchor verses. Again, it doesn't matter what you believe in. I'm giving them to you as a gift because I believe that they do have the power to really anchor you and center you. So that's number one. I was gonna make number two, number one, and then I scratched that and I said, no, we really need to make number one, because if you don't have this anchor, none of what I'm about to tell you is going to work because you're still going to be all over the place questioning your vision, your calling, what you're doing. So we get the anchor in place. And number two, it is your clarity. And we need clarity around two things. Number one, around who you are, sure, identity. But we also need clarity around your strengths and around your gifts. I think that's not talked about enough in the online space. With so many creatives, we want to create. We have a unique vision, but we also think that success online looks a specific way. I know for so many years I felt in a little way ashamed because I didn't look like a lot of marketing experts that were very proper. I was so insecure about my just like accent and English not being my first language. I didn't have a huge vocabulary the way I saw other experts be so eloquent. So I definitely felt less than. So instead, I had to get clear on my gifts. Like, what is my accent bringing? Like, what is that an asset? What is that a gift? You know, understanding, like a lot of people, they like to hear things spoken in a different accent, different way. I'm bringing a different perspective. I wasn't raised in this country. I come from a different culture. Even my different vocabulary and my examples are probably different from what you're used to hearing. And that connects with people that need to be told things in a different way, in a way that is specific to them. So getting clear on that, getting clear on what you're really good at, and being okay with that. I volunteer at the youth group in my church, and we were doing kind of like this improv activity, this icebreaker. And I was with one of the guys, and he's very quiet and a little bit shy. And we were emceeing this activity. And I was telling him, hey, if you want to be just like funny and charismatic, you don't have to pretend to be out there and super energetic. You be the youest you that you can be, and that's going to connect with people. So you don't have to pretend to be who you're not, because people are going to sniff that. You need to feel confident in knowing, okay, I am calm, I am quiet, but that means that I observe, that I am able to make intelligent remarks. Of course, not everyone's going to have speaking skills or debate skills or persuasion skills or administrative skills or design skills. Like, we all have different gifts, but your personality has enabled gifts and talents in you that you might be ignoring because you are so focused on what you think you have to do in order to perform. Even as I do this podcast, there may be speakers that are more eloquent than me, that are funnier than me, and I am not doing this podcast trying to look like anyone else. I'm doing this podcast being the meest me that I can be. So after you get clear on who you are, meaning your strengths, your gifts, your story, how everything works together to push you forward, especially in the online space, especially when things are a little bit slow and you start getting shaking your confidence, you get that clarity. You then need to get clear on what you offer. Because I have noticed that when people start feeling, first, if you're not clear, sales are gonna slow down. Like, it's not the only reason why sales slow down, but if you're not clear, your positioning is not clear, people are confused, people don't buy. So it's a consequence, right? So if people are not buying, we can look backwards and it all tracks to you personally are not clear about your offer. You are not clear about what you're selling. You have all these ideas in your mind. You put together some words, but those words don't really translate or communicate the value of your offer. And that gap internally, you are misaligned. You are not feeling aligned with what you're selling, with your message, with your promise, and you are not showing up with the conviction that you need to show up with in order to sell. So to fix that, go to your offer. Get clear on who you serve. Number one, first and foremost, be specific. And I have an episode on niching down for creatives. I'm going to link it in the show notes because that's going to be super helpful if you have too many ideas. Then the problem, get clear on the problem that you solve and be specific. It has to be a problem that's relevant for that person. It cannot be a problem that you think they should solve, but they don't care about solving, because we are in business because we want to solve problems that people struggle with and that people want to solve. Like, people are going to pay to solve something that matters to them. So get clear on that problem, why solving that problem is important to your person, and what's the transformation, like who do they become and what results do they get out of your offer. What is a tangible result? I heard Kelsey from Coming Up Roses say that everyone says that we are going to be confident. Like, everyone says, oh, I sell confidence, and with my offer, you're going to feel more confident. And that is so true. And I was like laughing because my podcast is brand confidence. So there's something to be said about confidence and confidence being the result your offer brings. So try to go a little bit deeper, right? Ultimately, yes, people are going to feel confident, but what is, like, give me something else. What's another transformation in identity? Who do they become? And again, most importantly, what is that tangible result they are getting in their lives? Like the evidence, the fruit that shows, okay, I've done some work and it has given me results. So work on that. Get clear on your anchor. I gave you those Bible verses. If they resonated with you, go back to that. And then get clear on your identity, your strengths, your gifts, and then what you offer. Get clear on what you offer and how to communicate that to your people. All of that is going to get together so you can stay confident when sales are low. And remember that you don't have to walk alone. Book a brand positioning audit. I cannot stress that enough because I would love to help you through this process. Go to eugeniawu.com/brand to book your audit. It is eugenia.com/brand. Let's talk through this. Let's get it done. I want to see you be the youest you that you can be. Talk to you soon. Un beso. I hope you loved today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and send it to someone who's ready to be seen as the go-to in their industry? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. I love reading your comments. They remind me of those little notes you would send your friends in high school, you know? Okay, see you back here soon with the next episode. Un beso.